in the face of the expected physical initiation. Colin Josfold is one of those Canadians who starts at fullback, whilst Adrian Garvey and Natasha Olsen-Thorne will provide a sturdy midfield unit. Plenty of extra additions, particularly from a Canadian perspective, with Tyson Bookerboom and Brittany Waters, very experienced campaigners. Another Canadian in Hong Kong ranks in Christine Gordon.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Canada and Hong Kong to the pitch.
The moment that begins everything in a new World Cup campaign. The Canadians so determined on the back of disappointment in France 3 years ago. So many familiar ingredients. Will they rise to the top this time? For Hong Kong, well, history is made as they first foot into the World Cup. No team, men's nor women's, has made this journey in their country's colours before. Huge honour for these ladies to plant Hong Kong's flag in this tournament. They're going to have to keep a lid on the adrenaline right now, though, as first up we have the formalities with the national anthems of both Hong Kong and Canada.
Ladies and gentlemen, please be upstanding for the national anthem of Canada. Please remain upstanding for the national anthem of Hong Kong.
So a huge historic moment for Hong Kong as they set themselves ready for this first match. I'm delighted to have alongside me former New Zealand Sevens captain Carlton Arna. Carl, what do you make of this Canadian lineup this evening?
Well, they're coming to this tournament, Simon, under a big build-up, and for me, their number 8, I think, is going to be the key. Kelly Russell, their captain, such a physical presence in the middle of that pack. She always goes forward. And also in the backs, Andrea Burke. She's come off an injury cloud, but she's a calming influence in the number 12 jersey. She's going to be influential in this game, that's for sure.
Yeah, when you look at that Canadian backline, there's plenty of attacking options. Alyssa Allery and Harvey and Rajot are such a potent back three there. Up against a very young Hong Kong side, but it has got some experience in there. They're going to be reliant on the likes of Amelie Sir, you reckon, through the course of this to stay calm, really.
And talk about calmness, mate. Nam Chow, also their captain in the second rows in jersey number 4. She's going to be integral as well to get her team going forward. But for me, Hong Kong's going to have any chance at applying pressure, it has to come to the halfback combination. So in jersey number 9, Jessica Ho, and 10, Rose Hopewell Fong are going to be integral also.
It's certain to be a 23-player match, that's for sure. And all those girls are going to get their chance to experience Women's Rugby World Cup 2017 by the end of the next hour and a half. Familiar face in these parts, Joy Neville, as we see her back, but the former Irish number 8 transferring her skills to the whistle. Very important to see that particular conversion. There's Emily Belchos, now 22 years of age. They know that they have to come out of the blocks quickly because points difference in this particular pool, Pool A, could be absolutely crucial to the outcome. Jacy Grusnick, Nay Murphy, not many will remember her under her maiden name. Christy Cheng, the open side, ready to go.
Okay, whenever you're ready. One sec there now. Captain! Behind!
So here we go. Canadian campaigns and hopes are on the march. Hong Kong have already written a new page of history in their own particular rugby books. The adrenaline will be surging through those bodies right now. The hardest part will be settling themselves into this game.
Yeah, all about the nerves, isn't it, for this Hong Kong team? We're able to take their kick off, but look at the numbers they're having to send in to this breakdown. A little bit hesitant at the start to take that ball in was Karen Soap, and the Canadians only send 3 in, and in the end they get the turnover. That is great work from the kick-off by the Canadians.
Crouch.
It's a big, heavy pack from the Canadians, one of the biggest in the tournament. You see Kelly Russell winning her 49th cap, the Canadian captain, the pick and drive. Josephson, François Ratier looking for her to be the metronome really of this side, making sure they keep up the tempo and their pace. There she is. Feeds out to Carolyn McEwen. Josephson having to dig that ball out.
Offside.
Over enthusiasm from Hong Kong.
Offside.
Yeah, the ball was just so quick there at the base of the scrum for the Canadians. Phase after phase. Kelly Russell already 2 touches of the ball well over the advantage line. And they're going to go straight for the corner and the 5 points.
Perfect. Take a step. Take a step.
Just coming up on the blind side, just a little bit too early, not behind the hindmost, and knocking the ball out of the halfback. Laurie Josephson's hands there, so Canada will be tough to keep out here.
The take
Stay.
from Kayla Mack. And the forwards setting themselves up for their first line-out drive of the evening. Just after 5 o'clock local time, tea time here in Dublin.
Release.
No chance to rest and relax for these two teams. Josephson whisking the ball out to Laura Russell. Ball is moved on to Dalika Menin. The tight head doing well, but eventually Hong Kong working on, I think that one was down to Jessica Ho, the little scrum half.
Oh, you'll put your mortgage on the Canadians scoring from there. It was a nice run by Dalika Menin.
Back 10 meters,
Jersey
please.
number
Get back
3.
10 meters.
But you're right, Jessica Ho, probably one of the smallest players on the field, the halfback for Hong Kong, getting straight over their ball and affecting the turnover.
Hong Kong only knew that they were going to be here in this tournament in December. They beat Fiji 43-19 in the triangular with Japan. In Japan, both Japan and Hong Kong advancing to their first Rugby World Cup, so quite a momentous occasion before Christmas. Karen So, born in London but actually lived in Canada for 18 years before returning to Hong Kong at the age of 22. Ho trying to get her forwards round the corner. And the clearance is sufficient to allow Hong Kong just to draw breath.
Well, decent exit play there from this Hong Kong team. 2 setups to open up the field to come back to blind and give a little bit more space to the kicker to get it downtown. Good early signs by Hong Kong, a turnover. Nice exit play, but going to have to play with some more defense.
Belchos into that midfield, and here comes Kelly Russell. When she revs that engine, there is not much going to stop the Canadian skip. On to Tessier. It's Andrea Burke. She's back from injury with a bang. Try on the board for Canada from the Canadian number 12, Andrea Burke.
A lot of hard work, and the smile sends it all for Andrea Burke. It's been a long road back to recovery for this young lady. But it all came down to the captain, the number 8. Look at her go to work. Kelly Russell goes through 2, runs over a third, but you know what? She has the presence of mind to give it to the outside centre. And the ball movement, Andrea actually looked to give it back on the inside. Had to look up and the line was right there. Well done, Canada.
Well, those watching back in Capilano Rugby Club in the Northern Shore in West Vancouver, British Columbia and Canada will be loving that moment. A very popular character, Andrea Burke. Got injured before the New Zealand tour, along with Latoya Blackwood. So great to have her back in the ranks. Great to have Magali Harvey back in the ranks as well. Had to have some time off. Went to New Zealand, funnily enough, to play for Waikato last season. Only came back in May. But of course, a lady with the X factor. We should be talking a lot more about her, I'm sure, through the course of the next 3 weeks.
What to admire about this though, first the power, then the skill to offload, to set it up, and then give it out to 2 centres in tandem. But Andrea Burke got all the experience, got power as well.
So Hong Kong have taken the first slap to the face of this tournament. They are going to have to get used to having the resilience to force themselves back into matches when they concede tries. They're not stupid. They know that this is going to be a big step up for them in terms of the quality of rugby they're going to be playing. Blackwood.
Hands away.
Really dynamic second rower, Latoya Blackwood. You look dynamic, don't look much further than Kelly Russell. Emily Belchos throwing it wide this time. Tessier trying to release the outside backs. Grusnick out to Frederic Rejot. Last ditch tackle, just halting the flow, but Canadian reinforcements up quickly, but illegally, says Joy Neville.
Holy.
Not sure he was over the ball there from Hong Kong, but Jesus, a nice passage of play. Engages the line, does Belchos. Nice hands here. Like the timing too of the blindside. Grusnick, the left-hand winger Rajot, does extremely well to stay in there. Brushes off 2 defenders, sets it up nicely. I think it was Jessica Ho again, the halfback, getting over.
At her size, you'd think she was nothing more than a roadblock, but she does such a lot of work in defence, covering around behind that defensive line and trying to fill in the holes, and doing very well so far.
5.
Angela Chan providing the ball for her team to try and work their way away from the 22, and it's these passages of play so important to try and just get that cohesion in place. Execution not working there.
Just leaving their feet there. One girl has been heavily involved for the Canadians already. It's Dalika Menon. She's the one that got their turnover, number 3. I just like the attitude of the Canadians. They're not going for the post, they're going for the sideline, and they've missed it here, have they?
There is a breeze from behind Canadian backs. It's not constant. So Emily Belchos is just going to have to be aware at any given moment. So you can see from the flags there at the back of that picture to just rein in her target perhaps a little.
I'll be interested to see here how Hong Kong go in this scrum. Physically outmatched by the Canadians. You see they're shaking heads. They're getting ready to rumble this one. So the technique of the Hong Kong team will have to be on point.
There's a power play from Canada, and there's a kind of inevitability to it when you look at the pack weights and realise just how much stronger the ladies in red will be. Magali Harvey losing the ball in the contact, and it's Aggie Poon asked to set the focus for the retort. Ho with the box kick. Harvey, though, anticipating that, and the call comes from Elisa Allery. What a runner Elisa Allery is. Here she goes. Can anybody stop her? Hopewell Fong desperately trying to hold her back, but there's no stopping the Canadian fullback. Scrum off in the 2014 final, back in her preferred position in 2017, and already on the scoreboard.
Yeah, great work from the back three of Canada. Firstly, it was the right-hand winger, Magali Harvey, realising the situation, diffuses this box kick from Jessica Ho, and then gives it straight to her vice-captain on the fly, Alicia Allari. I like the way she holds the ball in two hands, fakes off the defenders, takes the hit and goes through and uses her strength. There's a lot to admire about the vice-captain for Canada's try right there.
Yeah, we've seen her in 7s and 15s produce runs like that on a regular occasion. Unfortunately, she wasn't able to recover from injury in time for Rio. But savouring this opportunity to get Canada into such fluent form so early doors. 10 points from 10 minutes. And Magali Harvey makes it 12.
What I like about the Canadians' play so far, they look very clear on what they're trying to achieve. Their forwards have stepped up, they've given them a platform to launch from, and this lady here goes right through the hole, brushes off a high tackle. Very impressive so far, Canada.
Well, Francois Ratier called them quality underdogs in the lead up to this. Now that may be looking to take a little bit of the pressure off them, because having got to the final in Paris, there is expectation now that maybe they haven't had to cope with before. Good hands from Blackwood. Men in. Showing brightly in these first opening stages in the loose. McEwen sets it back for Josephson.
Use it.
Belchos gets the call from her captain, and Kelly Russell. Well, what an impact she makes. That's why she was in the All-Star team in 2010 and 2014. Here's Sister Laura. Blackwood just losing purchase on the ball there, but Tessier able to pick up. Belchos gets and makes the call. Karen Packer offloads to Harvey. There ain't nobody going to stop Magali Harvey. It's try time, Canada, number 14.
Well, I'm sure we're going to say this young lady's name over and over again during the course of this tournament. Magali Harvey. She's just one of those players that can create something from nothing, and it came from a nice pass from a lady you highlighted before the game. Karen Packer, the open side flanker, gave a nice pass away. It went round the corner, a nice short ball, goes through a defender. Knows she's got Harvey on the outside. When you've got a girl with this type of speed, there's no way she is going to be touched. Magali Harvey, try number 1.
Try number 1 in this campaign, try number 17 in Canada's colours. The Women's Rugby Women's Player of the Year 3 years ago. Fairly simple 9-iron for Harvey. And the scoreboard keeps ticking in a very positive fashion for the Canadians.
I love watching the athlete in full flight, and this young lady here is definitely one of those. Magali Harvey, multi-skilled, and the smile says it all.
I don't know whether you've seen the try she scored against France back in 2014. If you haven't, get online and see it, because it is Well, it's a full 100-metre try. You don't see many of those. And she just rips the pitch up to get up to the other end. It's quite remarkable. Hong Kong just looking to take a deep breath. We haven't even got up to the quarter of an hour mark. And it's been, well, I guess as expected, a one-way flow so far. Josephson pass just not helping a captain there. Dipping. Kelly Russell always struggling to pick that one up.
I think this will be the first time Hong Kong is going to be in Canada's territory.
Release.
It just dipped at the end, didn't it, in front of her. Unfortunately there for Russell, but once again it's a set piece, a second scrum. Hong Kong here just want to get it in and get it out.
Keep that push.
Canada last time absolutely annihilated Hong Kong. Scrum on their feet.
Set.
First opportunity to really show their attacking skills. Get the free kick call from the ref. Quick take from Amélie Suhr. The former Grenoble forward working hard to set up a new position for her team. Shen Li, the tight head.
Stay.
Chosvold. Oh, that's a big and quick hit from Blackwood. Ho resets things.
Off your feet, release.
The captain.
Over. Over.
I thought she was unlucky there, Kelly Russell. Said she was over, but I think the Hong Kong player was isolated.
Kevin.
Went straight to deck and lost her footing. This is good here by Hong Kong. Even before the kickoff, as you spoke about, Simon, they just slowed it down, reset themselves, and they're doing it here again. They've had to do a lot of defence, a lot of tackling. Finally getting the breath and play, ball in hand, having a go.
Well, there we go. First footing into the Canadian 22 now.
Oh, this is a shot by Blackwood.
Time off, please.
Physical mismatch. And here, Russell
okay.
is the one.
Take a step, please. Take a step,
done
please.
by, but anyway, we'll carry on.
Okay, time on.
Dr. Karen So manages to, well,
crooked option, please, Red.
thought it was going to come back their side, but the reason was it was a squint throw. So just when they thought they had the opportunity to show their attack, they're going to have to try and scrum down against this huge Canadian pack.
Okay? Thank you.
They've got a bit of a breeze, as you spoke about, behind their backs. The woman in red. Natural inclination is to use their kick, but now it seems like they're ready to run because they've been so dominant at the set piece.
Aiton, crouch, bind, set. Stay 7.
Russell invites Harvey to work her way away from the Canadian 22.
Back.
Belchos into that midfield, and there's the break from Menin. Menin on to try scorer Burke.
Available.
Canada just releasing the shackles almost at will. Kayna Belchos changing the options, but the rebound doesn't work. Is it going to work for Hong Kong? Poon stabs it forward. Canada struggling to recover. Well, you can hear the neutrals in the crowd want to
Knock on.
support, understandably.
Was the right option, just execution not there. Go straight into the leg, the Hong Kong defender, and from there they were always under pressure going backwards. Just a little knock on going back by Rajot. Unfortunately for Canada, couldn't clean their ball up, and finally Hong Kong again get an opportunity in the Canadian 22.
8. Crouch. Bind.
New Zealand 2.
Set.
Well, the 8-player shove working for Canada, and it's a default that they can revert to almost at will, isn't it? We've seen already in the first quarter of this game. Tessier, good handling skills. Pacan with the offload to Harvey, out to Allery. Hong Kong have to get their first up tackles in hard and firm, and it works there.
Isolated.
Olsen Thorne over the ball there from Hong Kong. That's one area where they've been very good, this Hong Kong team. They sort of tackle and let you go through the hole, and then they'll come in numbers. Because they've got numbers at the breakdown, they're able to challenge at the ball. But a real feature so far in this first quarter of this match for Hong Kong. One real positive.
Well, lots of chats and conversation going on social media already. Make sure you let us know what you're thinking, and you can catch up on all the highlights. Don't forget all the WRWCwomen's.com or the hashtag WRWC 2017. Most people using the hashtag Bring It as well. So many thoughts of everybody being shared through those portals. Make sure you have your say through the course of today and, of course, the next 17 days
Turnover.
before we finish this dynamic tournament. Blackwood. When you've got second rows that can bust the line like she can, Kayla Mack as well, they have a dynamism and an athleticism that benefits their side so much. Talking of athleticism, JC Krosnick
Away, hands away.
doesn't stop for many, it has to be said.
Away, four. Roll.
Josephson out to Belcharson again. Menin able to break the line with a bit of support from Burke.
No. Thank you. Ball was out. Playing advantage, knock-on advantage.
The anticipation by
Advantage is
Agnes
over.
Chang not paying off, and it's released Rajot down that left flank. Rajot with a good leg drive, falling just short, but the opportunity still beckoning for Canada. It's Kayla Mack.
Release, Blue. Release.
Not over the line. Beatrice Benvenuti,
Stay
the
on,
Italian
back foot.
assistant referee on that far side, looking very closely, but Kelly Russell will need no second
She got
look
there.
at that. Canadian captain gets the try bonus point on the board for her team as we move into the second quarter of this game.
Well, a real feature of this Canadian effort so far has been the ability to offload, especially in contact. There's one out of contact, and this is when it gets to the left wing. Rajot, I like the weight. She backs herself on the outside, just makes defenders take her down, and from there, look at the numbers coming through from Canada. And there's no way this young lady here was ever going to be stopped. Kelly Russell takes a second dig to get it down in the end.
Such a good driving position, and when you've got that sort of power and can keep that low, it's nigh on impossible to stop.
What makes her so effective as well, she doesn't particularly run at the chest, she runs at shoulders, therefore she's running at the holes, and as you said, because she's got that great body balance and power, it's very tough to stop.
Well, Canada keeping up at least a point a minute so far, led by their captain. She knew it was down eventually, had to work a little harder than she thought.
Canada 24 on Hong Hill.
It's a very slow jog back from Hong Kong to halfway. Physically, they can absolutely run over at the moment. What support as always, the Canadians.
Great to see, always very vocal.
A couple of Hong Kong
Please.
flags in the background as well, go on.
Yeah, real cosmopolitan mix here at the UCD in Dublin. It's been a wonderful day, the weather's kept fair, and there's been plenty of good rugby on match day one. Such a great mix. We've seen it over the course of various tournaments, and it's going to get even better, you suspect, in this version. Paquin showing good balance and footwork. Over 110 countries taking these pictures wherever you are in the world. It's a very good evening from here in Ireland. I hope you're enjoying the rugby and enjoying the company. It's great to see Well, Canada playing such dynamic rugby to start with, but great to see Hong Kong on the field and making history with their first appearance in the World Cup.
Hong Kong have had their moments too, especially at the breakdowns where they've affected 3 or 4 turnovers from a very strong Canadian team.
Much better, thank you.
I think the thing for Canada now is still to keep their high level. They've had a couple of knock-ons. They're able to get out to such a big lead. That's the challenge, isn't it? To keep a high level of play. That's one thing they'll be trying to concentrate on before the half.
Yes, it's all very well establishing a lead. It's a matter of then keeping your foot on the accelerator through the course of the next 56 minutes. Because, well, I won't say points mean prizes, but points difference could be very crucial in terms of who you play in the semi-final. And as I say, the top 3 pool winners will get semi-final spots with the best runner-up. And when you've got England and New Zealand in the form that we've already seen, well, it may be a Hobson's choice, I guess.
This Canadian team at the moment, the foreigners shoot a few shots across the bow, so don't forget about us. This Hong Kong team, I hope they can get this ball out and get their back line and play. Give an opportunity. Not going to happen.
Belchos and Burke working together again. Belchos coming back to reset the focus for the next period of attack. Hopewell Fong stepping up far, far too quickly. Russell looking to get things going again. Dalika Menin being very impressive in this first half as the young tight end. Out to Harvey. Harvey steps back inside, then straightens things up, and the inevitable outcome is try time.
Well, she showed us her gas for her first try, and her second try she used her footwork, which you know she's got. Can't be a one-trick pony in this young lady. Magali Harvey, multiple threat, that's for sure. And this lady as well, Menin, she's been very, very good, running freely, but the option to give the ball away, the vision by the second rower, backed up by Laura Russell as well. There's the footwork I spoke about, just to go on the inside of the defender and back out. Nice try.
I was talking to Monsieur Ratier yesterday at the team run, and he was very keen to stress how he lets the girls play with what they see, very much a jouer, if you like, the French maxim as we've known from years by. And you can see with this Canadian team that they are scanning opportunity forwards or backs, it doesn't matter, and so quickly able to capitalise on that.
It's great what the coach has done to A, be able to give them the freedom to play what's in front of them, but also B, upskill them so they're able to do that. Front row's been able to keep their vision wide, be able to throw that pass and have finishes like this on the outside. That's a lethal combination.
I guess it helps that 18 of this 28-player squad were in Paris. They've got that experience to drive them on. Indeed, 14 of this team played in that series, and therefore they know what's expected, and they know that they have to lift their own personal bar up in order to improve. Of course, the second place that they achieved at the Stade Jean-Bouin was their best ever finish in the 7 tournaments. Again, Poon starts, Blackwood takes, Canada come again. Well, guess who? Dalika Menin. Good tackle that time for Magnus Chang, but the support is there, and Burke working her way through the contact. Kelly Russell in at first receiver. Had time with the 7s, of course, and went to Rio along with Karen Tucker. But now back in the 15 squad. These 2 distinct squads within Canadian rugby, the 7s and 15s. A choice that the players have to make. There goes the tight head again. Well, just not able to get the offload into Latoya Blackwood, but it is thrilling, exhilarating stuff from Canada.
Well, this lady here, I know we've got an Aon player of the match to pick, and I'll tell you what, I'm going to call it early. The big number 3, the front row. You don't hear a winger saying that very often. Look at her here, carry 7. She's made 58 metres, beaten 5 defenders and 2 offloads. What a stat that is.
For a tight head, it's unreal. The world, it is a-changing.
8, please.
Great to see the work of
Bind.
Dalika Menin so far, and rightly she is very much in the frame for the player of the match. We've got a fair amount of time left,
Hold
and
it.
who knows, she may even score a try. There's the power coming on from the Canadian 8 again. Kelly Russell takes them once again into the red zone, the Hong Kong 22. Carolyn McEwen allowing Emily Belchos to play on.
Ball is out.
Burke doing well to pick that one up. Blackwood.
Counter is good.
Tessier first to react. It looked like Hong Kong had manufactured a turnover opportunity there, but
Advantage.
Canada
Advantage.
with the opportunity. Pack out.
Still advantage. Get back. Get back. Get back.
McEwen.
Still advantage.
Everybody lining up to try and score now. Joy Neville will take them back for the advantage.
Time off. Time off, please. Time off, please.
A few frazzled Hong Kong
1 second.
heads at the moment,
Captain, please.
understandably under duress.
In this area, be very careful. Release the ball when a ruck is formed and roll away onto your own side. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Be very careful.
Yeah, and then
Thank you.
At this,
Thank you.
okay.
Well, there's the warning, isn't it, Simon, from the Hong Kong team in this area. Don't be lazy, otherwise you're going to be a woman down. She's telling her troops now is Mei Nam Chao. And of course, it's going to be very tough to stop the captain off the back here, Kelly Russell. But do they go out to the backs and start working some moves and have a little thought about going forward?
Stability.
I'm picking the number 8, ain't going to pass this.
You think?
Bind. Set. Taking it down.
Joy Neville's patience
3.
being tested
Taking
now.
it down.
These Hong Kong forwards are really going to have to galvanise themselves, keep focused,
Bind up.
keep the concentration.
Don't take it down.
Okay, sorry.
Thank you.
Shun Lee, the tight head, apologising to the referee.
It's such a tough ask, isn't it? This Hong Kong team meeting one of the best in the world in the Premier tournament. It all come down to experience, only going to get better and better, that's for sure, when they go back to the Oceania Asia competition.
Bind.
Yep, you want to learn, you learn at the top.
Set.
It'll be tough, harsh lessons, but lessons worth learning, no question about that. Here comes another one.
Stay. Get back. Get back.
Kelly Russell dribbles away to the line and finishes it off.
It's just one of those plays that you keep in your back pocket. She's never going to go to the back line, the captain. She gets her second. And the forwards, well, they deserve this. They've been running free and open, getting a lot of yards for the backs, but in the end, this is what they like to do. They like to scrum, like to do the hard yards, and they like to get the rewards.
2 for Harvey, 2 for Kelly Russell, half a dozen already in the bag for Canada. And they keep up that record of more than a point a minute in this first half.
Thank you. Thank you.
Had a tough trip down under back in June, lost 28-16 to the Black Ferns and 27-20 to England, but they were very tight matches. Finished, of course, with a victory over Australia, 45-5, and this is exactly the same squad that went down under, so they will be able to utilise that knowledge, that memory, to press themselves on through this campaign, no doubt.
This one here, I really have seen them. They have improved immensely from, as you spoke about, that quadrangular tournament in New Zealand not so long ago.
Number 3, Bind. And number 1 angle in the scrum. Number 1 and number 3.
Okay.
Okay.
And then for in the rock there, maybe diving on it.
I'll watch. No problem.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good communication from the officials, so important, especially in a scenario like this where you know a team is really under the cosh. And Joy Neville explaining her calls and trying to get Hong Kong to correct them. Maybe easier said than done, it has to be said. Well, this time Latoya Blackwood unable to keep hold of the ball as they work the exit away. Now, can Hong Kong manipulate something here? Christy Cheng, the Sevens captain, setting the focus for her forwards. Sure. A little offload from Hopewell Fong. Quick ball there, Jessica Ho managing to react quickly enough to allow Shun Lee to trundle a little further forward. There's Rose Hopewell Fong.
Get around, sorry, man.
That's okay.
Olsen Thorne. Turnover though. Turnover is there for Canada.
Stay.
Hong Kong have to react quickly now because they know Canada can strike so quickly. Aggie Poon is the one back. Good work from the winger, setting the focus for the forwards to make sure that they kept possession.
Straight down. Straight down, number 11.
It's good work getting back in cover from the right winger, Aggie Poon. And a good return by her as well, and they get the rewards with the penalty. But a lot of hands on hips, as you'd expect from this Hong Kong team, just taking their time. Poon is going to take the kick to the sideline. She has to make sure this goes over, just to give her team a bit of a rest and reset.
So Karen So, the Hong Kong hooker, has to find a target and does so. It's Amelie Sur. The pass into midfield is a bit sloppy, but Tasha Olsen-Thorne rescues operations. Schoswald releases Poon.
No, back 5 metres.
And the game of rugby is all about mismatches, and they had it there. Poon's just down on her haunches, but she saw the number
Time
6,
off, please.
Gruznik, in front of her, so she thought she'd have a gun. Gruznik had the last say.
Captain
Just
Red.
winded. It's Poon.
Captain Red. Captain.
That's Aggie Poon just struggling there. There's Jo Hull, the only female coach in this competition. A Yorkshire lass, but has coached Scotland in the 2006 World Cup. Actually coached in Canada for 3 years with Edmonton men's Premier League side and the University of Alberta. So she knows a fair few of these Canadian girls.
Thank you. Time on.
She also knows the challenge that her Hong Kong side has. Looking for that toughness, for that warrior mindset, as she put it yesterday. This tournament is all about legacy for Hong Kong, about allowing their own culture, their own rugby culture to grow. Elisa Allery, such a balanced runner. Paquin, another one who likes the open spaces as well as the closer conditions.
No.
Quick hands, and guess who's making the break down the midfield? Yes, it's Dalika Menin. Menin going for glory. Stall just short. Ball still there for Canada. Belchus throws it wide. There's huge options in the end. It's going to be Andrea Burke nabbing her second. And the points just keep coming for Canada right now.
Thank you.
Again, though, it's the number 3, Dalika Menin. That was a 45-metre run, surely. Just pulled down at the end, and Andrea Burke is the one that's going to get the 5 points.
It'll be 65 metres by tonight, you can be sure of that.
And that's taken her over the 100-metre mark in carries, men, and that is absolutely outstanding for 36 minutes of rugby, and then the catch and pass just to finish it off. Her double for Burke.
Yeah, it's a half Nelson, 111 metres for men, and sometimes stats don't tell you much. That stat tells you an awful lot.
Oh, I can't get my smile off my face, honestly.
Who'd have thought you would have loved a tight head? Carlton Arna loving the rugby that we're seeing here this evening in the sunlight here at UCD in Dublin. Well, Emily Belchos taking over kicking duties, but unable to embellish that score. Looks like Aggie Poon is down in back play for Hong Kong. We'll keep an eye on that, but there's the latest try for the Canadians.
Thanks, Matt.
Just a minute and a half left to see.
There's their next flanker, bringing them up well. You just can't find a bus in Dublin, can you? Great to see such a great mix in the stands. Now you just wonder whether Hong Kong need to change things around, because I've mentioned that phrase of the start and then Blackwood able to take things on, and it's repeated and repeated, and they're not able to make any yardage from that restart, not able to put any pressure on it.
That's the learnings I'll take away from this game, won't it? You can't keep doing the same thing. They need to change it up, even go to the open side and let their wingers contest there.
Wait. Knock on first, knock on.
It is something that those game managers for Hong Kong,
ball.
Rose Hopewell
Red ball.
Fong, Jessica Ho, Aggie Poon, if she was kicking,
Red ball.
they have to find that variation that is just going to put a few question marks in Canadian minds, maybe.
That's definitely
Keep your
rugby
mind.
education, isn't it?
Thank you.
Steep one for them. Now they're going to have to once again defend and try and keep out Canada. A little bit of a win before the half. Going to be tough.
Thank you.
Russell with the pick and drive. Offload there to her mate Andrea Burke. Josephson, good hands, good awareness. Kayla Mack. Canada looking to finish with a flourish. Sister to sister in midfield. Tessier holds on well and feeds the ball out to Magali Harvey for the first hat-trick of the game.
Time off.
They're going to check it, I think, upstairs. I think Kevin Beggs,
Time off.
the
1 second.
television match official, will be asked to adjudicate. Let's have a listen.
Fair, I'm happy with the grounding. Are you happy with the last pass being flat and not forward?
I'm happy with the last pass.
Perfect, thank you. I can award the try.
Well, they're not going to need the TMO. Great work from the officials, just confirming that everything had been in order, and it is, and Magali Harvey has a hat-trick, and Canada have 8 tries inside this first half.
Last kick.
But they kept their width.
This will be the half,
It's
okay?
been very prevalent from this
Yeah, this will be
Canadian team. Burke now is going to take over the kicking duties. She's done this on a lot of occasions for her country, but she's been very impressive as well in the midfield, running off her captain, Kelly Russell, and Kelly Russell comes off the base. What's been very impressive about Burke is her offload's been able to do it amongst traffic.
So Andrea Burke finishes things off. She scored the first try. It's all gone to plan for the Canadians. Hong Kong have to change their plans in the second half when they look at a scoreboard that reads Canada 46, Hong Kong 0.
Ladies and gentlemen, half-time here at the UCD
From
Blooming Park.
Francois Rattier's point of view, well, 8 tries is everything he could have asked from his team, and they certainly have kept their foot on the accelerator right the way through. Concentration has been there. 2 tries apiece for Russell and Burke, and that hat-trick from Harvey Allery with the other try scorer has kept the Canadian fans happy. They will need more of it in the second half, but at half-time, smiles on Canadian faces with that scoreline, 46 points to 0.
To get your school involved with Aldi Play Rugby, visit aldi.ie.
Heineken is served in 192 countries. To our friends, like me. That was all Jimmy.
You're at the match. Tell the world about it. Views of the game, pictures from the crowd, get them up on social media. Use the hashtag WRWC 2017 and the hashtag #BringIt. And remember, tickets for the final stages in Belfast are in sale now at ticketmaster.ie. scored for Canada, scored by number 14, Magali Harvey. Scored for Canada, scored by number 14, Magali Harvey.
Stay on, back foot. She got there. Back foot. She got there. Nice hair. Nice hair.
Welcome back to Billings Park here at UCD in Dublin. It's been an emphatic start from the Canadians, runners-up, of course, 3 years ago. The World Cup readjusting itself in this time to fit in with the Olympics and, of course, Commonwealth Games next year in Sydney. So the readjustment for the 3-year variation as a consequence. For Hong Kong, well, they've had a lot of learning to do in those first 40 minutes of Rugby World Cup action for them. Kelly Russell will be telling her troops that they have to keep their foot on the pedal though, because this Pool A, it's going to be a tough pool. New Zealand Sevens captain Carl Tanana is alongside me, and Carl, Canada have to keep their eye on the bigger picture right now for this next half, because Pool A is going to be tough.
Oh, 100%. Wales playing New Zealand earlier on, and they pushed New Zealand, that's for sure. And this Canadian team, well, it'll all be about execution for them, keeping it high tempo.
So it's Rose Hopewell Fong to start the Next 40, unable to find the direction that her team need. And the unforced errors are not going to help Hong Kong right now. They've made a sub as well with Laurel Chaw wearing 23 on for Aggie Poon. And as you can see, Andrea Burke being replaced by Amanda Thornborough in that Canadian midfield.
Thank you. Crouch.
Very important from all the coaches, of course, to get game time into their squad. With a 4-day turnaround, it is very much a squad effort, this tournament. Allery, a little show and go, and she's gone. Alyssa Allery, one to beat, steps inside, and that is a classic Alyssa Allery try.
That's a classic. 8-9 to the left, wasn't it? From this Canadian team, they got their left side up in scrum time. Russell with a bit of skill with the ball between her legs to number 9, Josephson. Alicia Allery, she's so smooth across the deck, isn't she? There's a little decoy play on the inside, the step as well. But look, she doesn't change speed when she uses her step. You'll see it on this last one. When she beats the last defender, speed is still at maximum. Pretty to watch.
I mentioned in that final at the Stade 1, she had to play at scrum half because of injury. And Canada very definitely missed her attacking thrust, her threat out wide. And you can see why they're beautifully balanced running, silky. No wasted effort from Magali Harvey on the conversion, but why should there be? They've brought the half century up within 2 minutes of the restart.
A little deception as well, just to hold the inside defenders coming off the scrum. Hillary was at the first receiver, 1-2 dummy and straight through the hole. Nice finish.
Successful conversion. Number 40, Magali Harvey for Canada.
Hopewell Fong, the teacher who was actually born in the UK, played for the England Academy at an earlier stage in her career. And now looking to try and settle her team down.
Advantage knock on.
Get something structured, something constructive into their gameplay in this final half.
Advantage is over.
Laura Russell. Josephson showing good determination and strength.
Stay. Off the body, lay on.
Well, the hinge between Tessier and Menin not quite working there, but the ball bouncing off the body according to referee Neville. So Canada play on and play on in style. Hong Kong forced back into their own 22.
Knock on.
Nice option though from Belchos over the top, using the kick over the top. The rush defence was up, coming on the outside. Support players, just a little knock on the unfortunately from Hong Kong, so it's going to be a Canadian feed into the scrum.
Both sides, keep it straight. Keep it straight. Keep it straight, please. Keep it straight.
Just watch Harvey at the back door on the back line, just coming around the back of Belchos, the right-hand winger. She could be an option out the back door.
Bind. Set.
There's Belchos on the ball, a little wrap around from Josephson. Thornborough brought to ground, but Tessier able to move things on. Harvey appearing off her wing. The tackler not putting the ball carrier down, and it just allows the Canadian momentum to continue.
No.
Blackwood sets it back for a scrum half. Canadian flow continuing to go to the right. Tessier.
Still advantage.
The straighten is from Thornborough. And Amanda Thornborough gets her third try for Canada. And it's double figures on the try tally for the
Captain,
ladies
please.
in red in this game.
She's only been on the field for 5 minutes as an injury replacement. Amanda
Your
Thornborough.
tackers must roll away faster.
She gets the
Onto your
5-pointer.
side. Please, speak to them.
She's the one that gives that pass to her outside centre partner. But what she does, she still keeps in support. That's the key thing. Had members on the outside, didn't need them. A bit of a dummy straight through. She's very tired defence on this Hong Kong team, as you'd expect, having to make multiple tackles and in the end just conceding through weight of possession and numbers. Boom, see you later.
It's the flow as well, Carl, isn't it? Because it's that relentless nature of Canadian attacks that doesn't stop, doesn't allow them. It's almost like rugby league in a way, that the way that it keeps hammering away at the Hong Kong line, and that's really showing now fatigue. Magali Harvey with a slightly longer version, which she can't convert, but a handful of subs now for Canada as Francois Ratier looks to give all his squad some game time in this first outing.
Well, that's a luxury when you're up by such a large amount, isn't it? You're able to get everyone into this tournament nice and early.
The entire Canadian front row changed. So Jane Kirby, Brittany Castle and Olivia de Merchant on for their first experience of this World Cup. Well, they've got to get up to speed very quickly. Speed being the operative word. And the replacement there, Brianna Miller in as scrum half. Belchos just unable to hold on to that ball. Emily Belchos, 19 years old, would you believe, in 2014, now playing her 6th World Cup game at the princely age of 22. So great experience for a very young lady still.
Remember, stability, please.
Tyson Bookaboon into the engine room for the Canadians as well. Famous Canadian sporting name, of course, her dad Jaffa, 4-time Stanley Cup winner in ice hockey. Indeed, Tyson excelled at hockey in her college days, and now showing what she can do on the rugby pitch. Adrian Garvey, haven't seen much of her. The lady known as Rocky is now trying to catch up with Alex Tessier, and Tessier is going to open her Canadian try count in this World Cup on debut. Alex Tessier puts another score over. The ice cream tastes just a little bit sweeter now.
Was an all or nothing read by the number 13, Alex Tessier, because there was numbers on the outside for Hong Kong. If they could shift it there, she knew the long pass was coming. Here's the quick ball finally, but look at her there. Reads it beautifully, does Tessier. She was never going to be caught with open field in front of it.
Well, Tessier has been touted as a possible fly half at some point, such is her skill set, but with pace like that, she's invaluable in that outside centre berth, you would think.
Oh, Belchos says he's just spoke about, very young as well. She's looked very sharp in this game.
Another kicker for Canada, the 4th kicker of the day, is Brianna Miller. Showing she's up for the job in good style, and the scoreboard keeps ticking over in some style now.
Number 7. Number 7.
With that try from Alex Tessier. Changes, further changes in the Canadian camp. I think Karen Pacan has gone off now, and that brings Cindy Nels on. Nels wearing the number 20 shirt.
Hong Kong, 3.
And the Hong Kong bench is going to be utilised. Shun Lee and Mei Nam Chow.
5 and 9.
And
9.
also Jessica Ho, the
9.
scrum half, being replaced.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. Substitution complete. Time on.
Half an hour left in this first game. Now,
Time off, please.
let's just take a look at this call.
Time off. Away. Away, please. Away. Away, please. Fair.
Let's just have a listen to Joy Neville and Claire Hodnett, the
Be happy with the
assistant
penalty
referee.
only in there.
Contest for the ball.
Contest for the ball. Yeah. Kevin? Yes.
I think the Hong
Kevin?
Kong player might be lucky. I thought
Can
it
you
was
hear me?
very
Oh, yes.
dangerous.
Okay,
Just a
can I
penalty.
take a look in that, please?
Yes, we're bringing it up now, Joy.
So
Thank
Joy
you.
Neville and Claire Hodnett confirming it was a contest for the ball. Well, she didn't take her eye off it, that's for sure.
Yeah, I'll take
It
that
was
back.
Tyson Bookerboom.
Kay Young Chong's the one, the left winger. You're right. She just had all eyes for the ball. She committed herself. That's why I thought
Joy, can you see
she was
this?
in trouble. Look at her. She's always looking at the ball. Player in the year. It's number 19, a replacement. Book and boom. She's tough.
Replaces number 9, Jessica Ho.
What do you do when both players are just looking at the ball? It's a tough one, isn't it, for the TMO?
It's a contest then, surely.
Okay, Joy, we'll just bring up that first angle again. We'll run it again in real time.
Yeah, thank you.
And let's face it, if Kyan Chong had realised it was Tyson Bookerboom, she would not have taken the contact.
Well, that's one thing I've got to say about this Hong Kong team. They have been committed 100% to everything.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely right. And that
Okay,
is
Joy,
what Joe
those
Hull will be
are
happy
all the
with. Let's have a
Can I just see
listen.
it in live play once more, please?
Certainly. Just getting it now, Joy.
Thank
Joy
you.
Neville asking for real-time replay, which of course tells the real story.
Okay, Kevin.
Okay, Joy.
To me, it's reckless. The players run into the player in the air with force and a yellow card. Do you agree?
Yes, Joy, go ahead.
Thank you. Can you just confirm that number for me, please?
So it's going to be a yellow card for Kyan Chong.
Thought it was hard with 15 players, but it's got a whole lot harder with 14 about to be on for Hong Kong for 10 minutes.
Replaces Chung Ha-Yang.
Okay, thank you.
Well, I think she's
Pass,
just
please.
been.
Fair.
Kyan Chong has just been replaced
Okay,
for a
HIA.
head injury
Okay,
assessment.
so she's off.
So it means the
Okay,
substitute
the person
cannot
who came
come
on
on
to
then.
replace her has to go off. It's a yellow card. Okay. So the person who came on has to go off.
So just
Okay,
when
here,
Kelsey
here.
Bootle thought she was going to be
Penalty.
making a World Cup
Okay.
debut,
Back
the
10 metres,
18-year-old has had a full start through no fault of her own.
Perfect. Stay. Take a step, please. Take a step.
Chung Ha-Yang. Kelsey Wu, 22.
Red, in a bit.
So
in a bit.
Hong Kong
step,
down
yeah,
to
take a step
14
up.
for the next 10
Red,
minutes
take a step, please.
and down
Thank you.
significantly on the scoreboard. Again, another learning coming up for Joe Hull's units. How can they survive a player down? Frederic Rajot. Miller.
Roll. Stick step.
Casul. There's the captain, Kelly Russell. Bookerboom
Back.
cannot release the ball. And that's
Forward.
good defence from Hong Kong. Coming up quickly, good line speed, and just managing to stifle that Canadian flow.
The way they did it too, they were all connected, so the only option was the
Red 11.
ball on the inside. They made it
11.
difficult, didn't they?
Red 11.
That is a good win on defence from Hong Kong.
The experience of Brittany Waters on
Stability's
to
close,
the
keep it up
pitch
both
for
sides,
Canada. As you can see, replacing Frederic Rajot. Waters, well, one of the few
Crouch.
that has
Bind.
played in World Cup Sevens final, World Cup 15s final as well, along with the likes of Karen Packer and Kelly Russell and Magali Harvey as well. There is Russell and there is Harvey. DeMerchant. So the entire Canadian bench into the mix now. Booker Boom can't take the ball cleanly.
No advantage, knock on.
Again, though, Simon, it was banana defence from Hong Kong. The outside centre, Garvey, getting up nice and quick, so shutting off the passing lanes. So the only option is to take it forward, and just the timing of the run wasn't there from Booker Boom, causing another turnover.
Time off, please.
Well, what do you think about the game? Let us know. There's the hashtag WRWC 2017.
13 blue.
If you're haven't seen all the action, well, make sure you log on to all the W's, rwcwomen's.com.
Substitution there, Johnny,
there
please?
you will see all sorts of pieces around the World Cup, as well as concentrating on the actual matches themselves. Great to hear from you. Great to hear what you think. Always interesting discussions. So Adrian Garvey is off, and this time Kelsey Bootle is on.
Time on.
Only came into the squad in May. Had an outstanding season for the league and Grand Championship winners Valley, so that's why Joe Hull wants to see her in action on for a head injury assessment to Adrian Garvey.
Release right last. Back foot. Tackle. Release 18.
Well, Hong Kong trying to up the ante, trying to pick things up now as we approach the final quarter of this match. Chloe Mack, emerging scrum half and known for playing with real pace. Trying to keep things moving, but she's going to be in defensive mode now. Harvey does very well to catch that almost rebound pass from Miller.
Tackle, release, blue. Stay.
Booker Boom.
Straight down.
Good period of play here from Hong Kong just recently. On their second scrum. Did some good work up in Preston, limited opportunities by the number 12, Natasha Olsen-Thorne. Hong Kong and a couple of turnovers as well, not keeping their feet, hence the turnover and penalty for Hong Kong.
Here you go, Reg. Here you go.
There's Joe Hull barking out the orders down her microphone to her young charges who are learning all about this. That's a big hit coming through on Chloe Mack.
Time off. Time off. 18. Time off, please.
And I think that Olivia DeMerchant maybe in
Kevin?
a little bit of trouble here.
Can you have a look at 18, Reg?
Slipping.
The tackle and contact
defense
area.
Very tough. Where she's supposed to go. She's already
I'll bring it up now. Contact.
Watch the contact, please.
Yes, red 18.
Red 18.
So Joy Neville trotting over to the big screen to make sure she has perfect vision of this. Well, it's difficult, I guess, when Chloe Mack, who's the shortest player in this tournament, 1.5 metres. I'm not sure how tall Olivia DeMerchant is, but
just bringing up that angle, Joy, but from slightly earlier.
Mack was kind of heading down as well. Difficult for the replacement prop, but they know the disciplines and they know the laws and the way that they're interpreted now.
It's very, very tough, isn't it? I thought it was contact. It does slide up. That's for sure. See here, she goes around the chest and then goes up to the shoulders around the head area.
It's almost her bicep that makes contact with the head, isn't it? There.
Kevin?
Here's the call.
Joy. Go
For
ahead.
me, its contact is made with the arm, which was wrapped to the head with little force. So I'm going to yellow card, red 18.
I agree.
Thank you.
Well, Olivia DeMerchant's going to sit out the next 10. And I don't think there can be too many complaints.
Captain, please. Red 18.
From the Canadian ranks on that call from Joy Neville.
You make contact with the arm to head. with less force, hence you're getting a yellow card. Okay, please be careful.
So, 14 against 14 for the next 5 minutes at least.
Keep it down.
Nice period of play here for this Hong Kong team at the moment. Now, let's see. They can execute here from the line out. What can they produce here? Hong Kong have to do the first option first, though, properly.
You can hear the crowd willing them to get a score on the board.
Bigger step.
Chloe Mack out to Olsen Thorne.
Advantage, knock on.
See the whiz that Mack brings to the play. She really has got an energy about her. And at 1.5 metres, she's going to be quite difficult to stop should she get the ball. Here she is again. Angela Chan, former netball coach.
On your feet, leave it, right, leave it! Release, right. No. Stay.
Mack out to Chang. Into the 22 go Hong Kong. Can they find the cutting edge that's needed? Good footwork from Hopewell Fong.
Didn't survive.
Sur. Oh, the no-look, almost a no-look pass, not helping her team. Well, they've done well to keep hold of that ball. Hopewell Fong gets the call in midfield from Christine Gordon, the Canadian who gave up teaching to play sevens full time. Just getting a little isolated there.
He looked always likely, didn't it? The Canadian defence there in numbers. Tackle after tackle, they just felt like it was a matter of time before they were able to turn over the ball. You can see here she takes it up, does Gordon. That's great work over the ball, keeping your feet.
Jane Kirby, the replacement hooker for Canada.
One drop. Drop.
Finds her target, Kayla Mack, and it's into midfield with the captain, Kelly Russell. She really is a monster when she gets going. Such determination from the Canadian captain, Magali Harvey. Finds a little bit of space from somewhere. Where did she find that space from? We know where she finds the pace from. That's no surprise. Magali Harvey has 4 in the bucket and 4 tries to the good for Canada, and the tries just keep raining in for last season's last World Cup's silver medalists.
Highest try score for Canada. But look at her here, she had no right to score this try. You can see there's the 5-metre line, she got it with only a metre to spare. There was 3 defenders there, and her footwork just so elusive, the right foot step, and she beat all 3 of them. And I knew we were going to call her name over this tournament a number of times, but 4 already in this one game. There's still a quarter to go.
Well, the latest news from the benches is that Kelsey Bootle will stay on for Hong Kong, with Adrian Garvey having failed her HIA, so she has ended her match for now. Allows the 18-year-old to get a full dose of experience of this tournament. Really much the way forward for Hong Kong rugby, according to Dyrese and Joe Hull. Dyrese, of course, the man in charge of all Hong Kong rugby at the moment. Magali Harvey adding the extras. I'm not sure about Canada needing the Mounties. I think it's Hong Kong that probably need a little bit more help.
Not the player to match to pick from. I was in favour of Menon, but I don't think you can go past this lady, can you? 4 tries already. Day is not done. Harvey, she has been outstanding.
Are you backing down already? Is the front row society going to be sending us emails because Tanana's backed down from giving a tight head player of the match already, and we haven't even got to the hour mark yet?
Leave her on for at least a quarter. Get her over the 200 mark. 30 points though Harvey's got. I mean, you can't argue with that.
You're shallow, Tanane. You're shallow.
Easily bought.
Well, we shall wait and see how the next 20 minutes pans out. Not even up to the hour mark yet. Belchos. You can hear the calls from the Canadian team urging their teammates on, urging the concentration. That is a great line from Brittany Waters, and Brittany Waters is streaking away. It's a baker's dozen for Canada. It's the first try for Brittany Waters, and the floodgates are beginning to open now.
Try for Canada, number 23, Brittany
Even
Waters.
though they've emptied the bench, this Canadian team, they have kept their level high, that's for sure. Brittany Waters, you spoke about her experience. That's the line running. Look at that from outside and hits it at 100 miles an hour. Little change of direction too just before she got to that last line of defence. The determination written all over her face in the slide in.
Thank you, Johnny.
Well, an hour gone and 77 points, about to turn into 79. Tough and getting tougher for Hong Kong as Canada equal their best ever point score in the Rugby World Cup. That was previously against Scotland in 2006 in the pool stages. And you wouldn't want to put your pocket money on them not beating that team now. So Hong Kong back to 15. Kayan Chong passed her HIA, but of course had to sit out with the yellow card. She's now back on the wing. P.Y. Pun also on into the Hong Kong front row for Wing Wan Wong. Now, we haven't said her name all day. That, I believe it is her Western name. The management assured me that I was allowed to say that, so the student loose head has left the park. There she is, Wing Wan Wong. And now P.Y. Pun is going to get her first dose of World Cup rugby.
Advantage knock on. No. Still advantage knock on. Use it.
Tammy Lau trying to keep things moving for Hong Kong, especially with the next 2.25 minutes with a player advantage. Looking for those holes is easier said than done, though, when Canada are buzzing around this game like they are now. And credit to them because they haven't stopped. Maybe there was a little lull after the beginning of the second half, but certainly they've kept the tries coming in the last 5 minutes.
Just unfortunate there for Hong Kong. The advantage has just been blown before they made that mistake there, and they just put it along the chain. They had to get some deception going, get some dummy runners, some decoys, and try and threaten this Canadian defence, which hasn't been really, for the majority of this game, tested whatsoever.
Well, here is an opportunity for the front row union to really nail a player of the match award, because Dalika Menin is back on the park as a sin bin replacement, of course, although she's on for JC Grusnick. So, can the young tight head convince Carlton-Anna that she is worthy of a player of the match award, if she hasn't already? Good transference to Brittany Waters.
Rock, release, step.
Good, powerful play from Tyson Bookabun in the contact, staying strong. Oh, the transfer to the tight head doesn't work this time. Now, can Hong Kong work something from here? Kelsey Bootle desperately trying to get the offload in before the tackle came in.
Stay.
Quarter of an hour left of this first match in the Rugby World Cup 2017 campaigns of Canada and Hong Kong. Nice little dart from Chloe Mack. Joe Hall described this campaign as a turning point for Hong Kong rugby, both male and female, in order to make sure they establish their identity. Really, they've got to get some points on the board in this game. Big hits coming in midfield, but Hong Kong clinging on to possession.
Tack and release, Reg!
Again, it's Olsen Thorne trying to break open a hole in that red line.
Time off, please. Time off.
Well, let's have a listen to Joy Neville here.
Captain, please.
Kelly Russell being called forward.
That's the third person over the ball off their feet. The next one will be yellow carded. Please have a word and warn them. Do you understand? Thank you.
Oh, discipline
Please
not helping Canada.
I suppose I was just about to say that, Simon. If one thing they can take away from this game, they can ill afford to have yellow cards against teams going forward. So discipline's going to have to be at a premium, something I'm sure they'll take away from this game, this Canadian outfit. But you've got to give it to Hong Kong. Coming back, never been deterred, and now got an opportunity to come away with some points. Phase after phase after phase. This is the third occasion that a player's been caught off their feet. Hence why they did get the warning, and she's off again.
Take a step,
The
please,
moment has passed for Dalika Menin. Sin bin over
Johnny, substitutions
for Olivia de Merchant. But remember that name, Dalika Menin. Big impression, particularly in that first half. So 15 against 15. Olsen Thorne breaks through. Can she get the ball out to her winger? Laurel Chaw.
Sit.
The drive from Tammy Lau.
17.
Hong Kong have to stay cool to execute opportunity now. It's been a long time coming. Visits to the Canadian 22 have been something of a rarity. But you can see the ball being held up, and it's going to go to Canada.
By blue.
And the moment has passed.
Yeah, Kirby the one. Soon as the more she doesn't have to release, she can stay there. But once again, Natasha Olsen Thorne has been the best on the park for Hong Kong today. She's the one that made that initial break in the backfield. It was a good one as well. You just hear the crowd going up anytime they make a break, this Hong Kong team. Still not over here, Simon. Still deep within the Canadian 22.
You just look at the psyche of Hong Kong, Carl, and you're aware for future matches, and we know this is a build, we know this is the lessons that they have to learn. We've talked about just to get something on the scoreboard before that final whistle, so important. Canada have only thoughts of getting points on their side of the match equation. Chos, the West Shore rugby player, sets up the ball.
Advantage.
Mallory, I think, has gone off. Well, being penalised for the release from the call from Joy Neville. Well, Hong Kong starting to get a few offloads together. A little cohesion in attack.
I'll tell you what, Simon, since Chloe Mack has come on in the half-back position in jersey number 21 for Hong Kong, they've looked a lot better. The way she's able to whip her past is a very strong one for her.
Here you go.
And it is the buzz, the energy that she brings to it that just puts the fringe defenders on alert, and as a consequence makes a little bit more space further out wide.
100%, and she gets there early too. That's a secret for mine. She's been able to create space for her number 10 because she's got such a long pass and given her time to make her decisions. Under pressure, they took it well.
Time off. Substitution. 2.
Winnie
Take a
Siu on
Right.
as
Perfect.
hooker now for Hong Kong.
Replacement for Hong Kong, number 16, Winnie Siu. Replacement number 2, Aaron So.
More. Out of it. 18. Out. Right.
Well, Hong Kong trying to manipulate position now. See if they can just threaten the red line.
Boys there.
Olsen Thorne stepping in as first receiver.
4 away.
There she is. But again, that red line up, very quick line speed. Very dominant for the Canadian defence. No way through for Hopewell Fong.
15, 19, leave it.
Well, the offload doesn't work. And Canada retake possession. There's Amanda Thornborough. She's made an impact since coming off the bench.
Offside. 18. Here.
Canada working up their attacking engine once again. Waters stepping in. The offload is there to JC Grusnick. Grusnick stretching out. Oh, she had Tessier inside, unmarked. Couldn't find her. Brianna Miller trying to reboot this attack. Kirby. Well, Canada being forced backwards.
Back.
And suddenly, Hong Kong have the ball, and it's Kelsey Bootle, the
Release,
18-year-old,
release.
just wondering where she can go next. And Hopewell Fong trying to get that kick through, and it really, there was no
Accidental.
space.
Accidental.
Well, with
Scrum.
just under 9 minutes to go, time for Colton Arnold to pick your Aon player of the match. The front row union are watching. Your call.
Time off,
Thanks
please.
for giving me the hospital pass there, Simon. But I mean, it has to go to Megali
I
Harvey.
need
I
your
think the
standards
right-hand
to
winger for
maintain
Canada there.
at a
She's
good
there.
standard.
4 tries,
Okay, I need
a
your
number of
players to go
conversions. She's
fast.
been outstanding today
Okay, do you
for this
understand?
Canadian
Thank you.
outfit, and deservedly so. She gets the Aon player of the match.
Well, a lady who has the X factor, no question about that, and can make a difference in the big games, let alone these games that, in all reality, we kind of knew and expected what the outcome would be. Kelly Russell with a little offload, delightful touch from the big number 8. The drive coming on, stopped on the 22, but Canada will not be stopped from here. De Merchant with a power play. Miller trying to find a way through. Those forwards voracious now in it. Hunt for the ball.
Offside.
Quick take from the captain, and she's there. There is a new record for Canada, exceeded their highest ever World Cup tally. Kelly Russell with her hat-trick score.
Canada, number 8, Kelly Russell.
The Toronto Nomads leading scorer, leading her team once again over that try line. Magali Harvey just able to relax and enjoy these final few moments, really, because I'm sure that Francois Ratier, in his most fervent dreams, would not have expected 80 points plus, and that's what he's got now. And of course, we've still got 6 minutes or so to play. Great work from the Canada captain. As I say, plays her rugby out of Toronto, home of my beloved Blue Jays. Not enjoying the best of seasons, it has to be said, but Canada looking to start their season in this tournament in fine style and in good fettle. Rose Hopewell Fong understandably subdued, but defiant nonetheless, and determined and maybe desperate to get something out of these next 6 minutes.
Happy with back, Claire? Thank you. Roll 18!
Strong work from Cindy Nels as the replacement forwards look to make an impact on this game. Kept the energy up, kept the drive up. That's Tyson Bookaboo. Offload not quite allowing the flow to continue as she might have liked, but the ball still there for Nels. Credit to this Hong Kong defence. They have stayed in their defensive alignment despite the battering they're taking and managing to hold Canada inside their own half. Canada's attack getting into double digits now, but still not got themselves up to halfway. Athletic take from Belchos.
Going forward. Straight down.
Hong Kong, who prepared for this big day, the 10 days in Spain, the end of May, before they played a couple of matches against Japan in the Asian Rugby Women's Championship. It's been a big time for women's rugby in Hong Kong. Last year beating Kazakhstan for the first time, allied to that win over Fiji in December. 24 teams they have in 3 leagues in domestic rugby back home. It's about 15 to 20 clubs. So looking to build their pyramid. Canada looking to build their score. Magali Harvey stepping inside one. Good comeback tackle from Olsen-Thorne. Great work from Natasha Olsen-Thorne. The American centre getting back to take the Canadian winger. Harvey just has that capacity to turn on the afterburners almost at will, and it was the inside centre who was backtracking her to get that tackle in. You can tell the flow of this match just by looking at stats like the 1,200 metres that Canada have made through the course of this game, and the fact that Hong Kong have almost made 150 tackles in that time.
Wait.
That'll be no surprise.
Substitution, blue 11.
Everybody expected that sort of match, and that's how Hong Kong are going to learn.
Time is on.
More replacements for Hong Kong as Yan Sang comes on to replace Kyan Chong. It's
Knock
going
on
to be
captain, option, line out,
a readjustment in that back
Strong.
line. I'm looking to see, it looks like Agnes Chang is going to play out in midfield.
for my call.
Christine Gordon wearing 19.
Stay back. Okay, thank you.
Number 8 now for Hong Kong.
Point.
Another lady born in Canada. Well, there's 300,000 Canadians in Hong Kong. So no surprise that there's a Canadian influence in their rugby. Harvey off a wing to make the extra player. Big pass out to Waters. Waters again, beautifully balanced running, so many options. This time it's Amanda Thornborough. Try number 2 for number 22. And Canada heading towards a century now.
Thank you. 1 minute. Thanks, Kevin.
Well, good execution of opportunity from Canada. Harvey again in that mix. Huge awareness. Enjoyed her time in Waikato and no doubt helped to develop her game and her awareness, and you can see there finding the gap, moving through it, and then the missed pass.
No, thank you.
So the points just keep coming.
Thank you. Perfect, thanks.
Final play of this match. Bookaboo with the restart as Canada go hunting. 3 figures on the scoreboard for the first time. Tessier. Ooh.
Advantage.
There's a little problem in the
Advantage on the
tackle
22.
there from Bootle. Miller. Russell with the show and go. They'll go back, I think, for the advantage. Yes. Just crossing very obviously there.
Time off.
Just going to check
Time off.
there. I think there's a
Here.
question of
Okay.
is there a hair pull?
22.
Kelsey Bootle is the lady.
22. 22.
Looked like she had hold of Alex Tessier's hair.
Oh,
I'll ask her to put her hair up.
Yeah.
The reason why you're not getting a card is because you let go. Be careful, okay?
I'm so sorry.
Thank you. Penalty only. Thank you. I need her
Okay.
to put her hair up, okay? It's a
Test.
penalty only.
Test.
Good officiating.
Time also is up,
Okay, we still get the lineup,
if you want.
right?
Right, with the new laws
Sorry.
in place, it means that the penalty can be taken and the line-out will follow. Part of the 5 new laws that will be running through this tournament. Have been in operation in the Southern Hemisphere since the 1st of Jan, but
Time off.
coming
Take a
into
step,
operation
please.
now
Take a step.
through this
Stay.
tournament.
Thank
A handful of the 7 new laws. Belchas into Thornborough. Certainly made a difference in that midfield. Amanda Thornborough made an impression. Andrew Burke had a good first half, but didn't appear for the second. Offload to Bookaboom into the 22. Go Canada. Tessier on to Harvey. She's not going to score again. Oh, yes, she is. Could she have gone nearer the post? Could she have made the century a better possibility? Does it really matter? Probably not. Harvey gets try number 5. It's the 16th try for Canada with the last play of this game.
Oh my God, everyone's
The conversion to come.
That's it. After this kick, okay?
Who is going to take the kick? It's not going to be Magali Harvey. It's going to be that lady, Brianna Miller, who slotted her first conversion opportunity. A little bit of history in the making here for Canada. It's already an historic record for them in terms of World Cup tallies, but this would be the first time they have ever got a century on the scoreboard. Unable to threaten the post, but it really doesn't matter one bit, because Canada have done the job they set out to do. 16 tries, an emphatic victory for the runners-up from 2014, shows that they are laying down a marker for 2017 with that huge victory. First up, 16 tries means Canada 98, Hong Kong 0.
Ladies and gentlemen, the AR player of the match is number 14.
Magali Harvey, of course, will take the plaudits for her 5 tries inside a 41-point personal haul. But there were plenty of pluses for Francois Ratier to take. A good flowing match from the Canadians. For Hong Kong, well, it was always going to be a tough lesson. They are now inducted into the Women's Rugby World Cup. They know what it's about. They know what they are going to have to do over the course of their next matches against Wales and, of course, against New Zealand. Let's get a reaction, though, from the Canadian camp. Canadian captain Kelly Russell is talking to Carl Tanana.
Yeah, thanks, Simon. Kelly, congratulations on a big win. I suppose one thing that really stood out for mine was the offload. Is that something you've been working towards this World Cup?
Yeah, definitely. Keeping the continuity out there is something we've been really focusing on. So, great job by our girls to keep that going.
One area they did test you a couple of times on the fence, but you'd be very pleased to keep it to 0.
Yeah, well, credit to Hong Kong because they were really good in the rucks. They gave it to us a couple times in there, so that's something we're going to have to clean up going forward.
Also discipline, a couple of yellow cards.
Yeah, got to clean that up too.
One area, I suppose, also, because you had such a big lead, that you're able to bring on some subs, introduce them into the tournament also.
Yeah, it's important for us to get all our girls out on the pitch because, you know, we want these girls to come up and bring up the pace when they step on, and that's exactly what they did. So I'm really proud of the team today and the effort they put in. You know, some things to fix going forward, but we'll get there.
One thing also you must be very pleased with when you did make those changes, the level still stay high.
Oh, of course. I mean, across the board, it's any one of those girls can be on that starting lineup, so it's just starters and finishers.
Pretty good here, doubling in the sun too, eh?
It's beautiful.
Congratulations, good luck for the next one.
Thank you very much.
So delighted Kelly Russell, understandably. Jo Hull talking to her troops, just trying to reassure them of their identity really in this new tournament for them and how they can play a bigger part and improve through the course of the next 2 games. It ain't going to be easy. Wales and New Zealand going to be next up, but let's find out what their captain's thinking. Mei-Nam Chow is once again with Carl. Carl.
Well, May, must be such a proud moment for you as Hong Kong first time in a World Cup.
Yeah, it's very exciting, the game, and then we first time here, we are very good at. Yeah.
What did you say to the girls before the first game?
Play with the heart, each together to play, enjoy the first match.
That's one thing you really did look like. You really look like you put everything into it and did enjoy it.
Yeah, we very enjoy it. Everyone is loved this game, and then we will tidy up and then back to our door to improve every time.
I must say, in the second half, you did improve. You did make a lot of tackles and make Canada play some rugby.
Yeah, I think they're very hard for it. They try, and on the far side, we put them pressure, right?
Well, good luck for the next match, and well done on today, eh?
Yeah, thank you. Very nice.
Well, Hong Kong enjoying the fact that they are part of Rugby World Cup 2017. As difficult an initiation as that was, no doubt, they will look to build on things from there on in future matches against Wales, against New Zealand. The Aon player of the match being presented. There is the recipient, Magali Harvey. 41 points on her first outing in this campaign. So a great start for Canada and a great start for their number 14. Again, making an impact on the tournament. Good to see her smiling, and good to see Canada and Hong Kong smiling, enjoying their participation in this tournament. Let's just take a look at the table as it stands, and of course with that huge win, Canada topping the log. But the big match will be on August 17th when they come up against the Black Ferns. That, you would think, would decide the pool leaders in Pool A. It's been a very impressive first outing from Canada. 16 tries in a very big win. Canada showing what they're about. 98-0 victors over Hong Kong. Good night.